Breaking news, the Chicago Bears are hiring Chris Morgan as their new offensive line coach. So let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, hit that big red subscribe button down below. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and guys, hit the bell icon so you are in fact notified every time I drop a new video. I've been covering the Bears extensively, so you will definitely want to stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications on. All right, so let's talk about this. We've got this staff for Matt Eberflus coming together quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, I just made a video about them hiring their new defensive coordinator, Alan Williams. Go check that out. And now we've got a new offensive line coach in Chris Morgan. So who is Chris Morgan? Let's talk about him. Let's dive a little deeper here. He was with the Steelers this past season as the assistant offensive line coach. And he was actually promoted by Mike Tomlin to the offensive line coordinator after they fired Adrian Clem. But he still chose to come to Chicago and take their job as the offensive line coach. So that speaks volumes. He's got a ton of NFL experience, which you love to see here, folks. Get as much experience in the building as possible, especially when you've got a bunch of guys doing their jobs as first-timers, right? With the GM, with the coach. Get as much experience here as possible. 13 years of NFL experience, 6 seasons as the offensive line coach with the Atlanta Falcons from 2015 to 2020, and he doubled down as a run game coordinator in 2018. In 2016, that Atlanta Falcons offensive line helped the Falcons become the top scoring team in the NFL and helped win Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, an MVP. So we all remember that. So kudos to Chris Morgan for playing a part in that. And as far as, why the Bears went in this direction, a couple of things, your experience, but more importantly, he's worked with Mike Shanahan in Washington as well. And I'm sure that this is kind of part of what Luke Getsy, what Matt Eberflus envisioned in terms of the offense being able to, be in this sort of Shanahan-style offense. And so I think that's one of the reasons they plucked Chris Morgan here from the Steelers. So here's the thing, folks. The offensive line, it's one of the weaknesses for the Bears this past season, and we need to upgrade it, and we need to be able to have a stable and steady offensive line in order for us to be a successful offense. Look, I know Joe Burrow's making it work with that patchwork offensive line in Cincy, and they got to the Super Bowl, so I'm not saying it's impossible, but not every team's going to have a Joe Burrow. So it starts down low in the trenches with the offensive line. We've got some talent there. We drafted it last year. Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum, you know the deal. Now it's time to capitalize on it, because when you've got a quarterback like Justin Fields, you want to utilize the RPOs that I mentioned, right? Run pass option. You want to be able to use David Montgomery in sort of a power running game. Basically, it all starts and ends with the offensive line. Because if the offensive line isn't very good, Justin Fields is going to be on his back more often than not the entire season. And we want him upright. We want him to be able to have time to sling the football, but also to set up the run game, set up play action. Everything starts with that. So I would say this is another very solid hire. And I'm sensing a theme here, folks. I know I haven't really come out and had a hot take in terms of saying, oh my God, this was the worst firing or this was the best hiring. And that's because I truly feel like these hirings that are being made for the Bears have all been solid. I'm not over the moon about any of them, but you know what? At the end of the day, they're solid. They're bringing, a lot to the table, and hopefully all these pieces can come together and just get you a solid football team that we can put together. In terms of the Bears and what they've gotten, it's not flashy, but that's not what wins in the NFL all the time, right? It's sustainable and it's solid stability. So I got to tell you here, same thing with the defensive line coach. I gave Matt Eberflus credit for that. The defensive coordinator in Alan Williams. I want to give the same thing here with Chris Morgan. Trust their judgment here with the offensive line coach. He looks to be solid, ton of experience, so can't complain there. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.